So in this problem, we are told a relationship between the radius and the height. We know that the radius is 1/3 of the height of your cylinder. Okay, the surface area is 90 pi square meters. What is the height? So there's a couple ways we could attack this. We know the formula for a for a cylinder is 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. Okay, that's two base areas. So here's the base area, right? This is perimeter times height plus two base areas. Okay, P times H plus 2B's is the general formula for all surface area of a prism or a surface, but this one is specifically for a cylinder. Okay, and we know this is 90 pi, so we have a problem. There are too many letters, so we need to do some substitution. We either need to put everywhere we see an R, 1/3 H, or maybe we could put an H, replace H with something. So let's talk about this for a second. We know that the radius is 1/3 of the height. So if this is height, then radius is 1/3 of the height. Okay, which is perfectly true. If your height is h, then the radius is 1/3 of h. But now let's make it a little bit different, and let's consider the radius. If we call the radius r, that means the height would have to be 3 r's. Okay, is the radius still 1/3 of the height? And the answer is yes. So you can choose, of course, always, it's your work, to do whatever substitution you want. You can replace r with 1/3 h in two places, or we could replace h with 3r. Now to me, replacing h with 3r seems a lot easier. So instead of h, I have 3r. And I tell my students this all the time, you should replace, or rather you should give the variable to the thing that's smallest. So since the radius is the smallest thing, we're going to give the radius the variable. If you want to call it x, that's fine. But the radius is your small thing, so it should get your variable. That way we have this substitution, okay, which is much easier than having to multiply things by 1/3. So this is 6 pi times r squared when I multiply 2 times 3 and r times r. Okay, plus 2 pi r squared, which when I can combine these like terms, I get a total of 8 times pi times r squared equals 90 pi. So this is a much simpler algebraic problem than what it would have been had we replaced r with 1/3 h. So there the pi's cancel out. So I don't have to include them in my division. So 90 divided by 8 is 11 1/4. And then when I square root both sides, the square root of 11 1/4 is 3.354 rounded to 3 decimals. Now I believe the question said, what is the height of this cylinder? So since the height is 3 times the radius, if I multiply 3.354 times 3, I get a height of 10.062 meters is the units. Okay, so it's important to be able to assign variables when you have these algebra problems. Okay, there's two variables in a surface area formula for a cylinder. It's best if you make the smallest thing the whole number variable and then relate the other one to it, like that.